Why Uber drivers and customers hate each other? What is the problem? And why is it that Uber drivers and customers, they hate each other so much to an extent sometimes they even fight? What can be the cause? And who is fueling this? And where is this one coming from? Because we are just in business working together. The other guy want a ride, the other guy want money. But why is it that every time you hear that there was a problem somewhere? Now, I'm going to weigh on both sides, and I don't want to look at who is bad, who is good. But all I want to do here on this video is to give you where the problem started and why there is a problem. Hello guys, please subscribe to our channel, give us a like, and leave us a comment. Also, if you feel this video is important to you, share it with a friend. Now, first of all, let us start off from where it all started. It all started where Kenyans were not ready for the digital apps, the digital taxi, where most Kenyans, they believed in asking for the price, just like the bodabodas do. How much is the ride? They tell you, you negotiate and go. And on this one, Bolt will handle everything and negotiate for you. So from the driver's side, there is something missing. Drivers at some point, they feel like, at some point drivers feel like they should, that culture, that past culture is still haunting us, because that is something we have lived in for years. So drivers at some point feel like they should negotiate their ride. They trust what they negotiate for. You understand? Also customers, the same. That's why even sometimes a client will request a ride. As a driver, you arrive, but still this client will ask you, how much? Imekuonyesha ngapi? They don't trust that digital thing. Customers, both customers and drivers, they don't trust these apps. Also, the reason why, because the drivers always go through some teachings and basic teachings before they go online. So drivers know almost what is happening. But also what happens is that the promos, Bolt does not show drivers the whole amount. When there is a promo, they will just show you that there is the ride is 500. They always hide your earnings. The best time to look at your earnings on a ride is when you complete the ride. So how comes I'm working for this amount, but I will just see it once I have arrived? Even now, when there is no promo, Bolt nowadays show only one thing: your payment after tax, what you are going to earn. They don't want to show you with the tax. In total with the tax is how much, but drivers want it to be the total with the tax at some point, so that if it's 200, you want to see 250. So when a client comes to your car and asks you, how much is this ride? First of all, the driver, even right now, they still don't have the real amount. Once a client requests, because the trust between client and Bolt and also the driver, imeonyesha ngapi kwako, the client will ask, how much is the ride? But on your side, they have shown you just a certain amount with their commission and tax excluded. But the client should be paying a total with the tax. So that means you still don't have the total amount of the ride. So this one, most Bolt customers, they don't understand. Most customers, they don't understand. They feel like we are hiding these prices. This is something that they don't understand, that they are the ones who receive the total amount. We only receive our earnings. That's the only thing available that we can see. So sometimes they feel like we are hiding so that we can adjust it. In fact, they believe that we adjust it by ourselves. In most cases, we lost trust between drivers and customers when Bolt has failed to give, in fact, they should even give them a small video, a short video tutorial to tell them what is, how this app works, how they should approach drivers, just the way they do with the drivers. We are being told how to approach, how to stay professional and all that. And that's why in most cases, Bolt customers, these customers, they feel like drivers are rude, drivers are unhappy. At some point, you are just keeping silence so that you don't get into more arguments. In most cases, I've seen it where I'm trying to be silent so that, because most of the time, if you have a client who doesn't understand, or a client who has problems with the drivers, you will just feel it. Even on the first call, you will just feel this guy, there is a problem. But since you want to earn and you know how this system works, you are not interested in that arguments or any problem. You just want to focus on the ride. So you keep the silence and only focus on the ride. So a time comes when the problem, these clients cause problem when they start asking questions that are not related to the ride, but they want, I don't know how they want it to be. Because sometimes someone will ask you a tough question. Even on a call, your first call, you always call to understand if is it true this guy want a ride before you leave your comfort zone, before you start the vehicle. So you will make a call. Like just yesterday, there was a guy in Umoja who requested a cab, and I called him and informed him that, in fact, nowadays they're not really sure if the driver will show up because a lot of cancellations is happening. So they will always ask you, where are you? You will tell him so and so, which should not be an exact question for us, because the clients can see where we are. But since most of them, they don't know how to look at the map, they don't know how this app work, they don't know whether, they ask you a lot of questions that are on the app. So this guy asked me that, where are you? I told him where I am. Are you coming? And I told him, yes, I'm coming. But this guy insisted, tell me if you are coming or I just cancelled. And I told him, but I've told you I'm coming. I've just replied you I'm coming. This guy felt bad for that. I've just told you that I'm coming. So I don't know, because my first response was good. The second one, maybe it was a bit harsh. But the truth was that for me to make a call, it means that I've accepted to come for that ride. So I was just calling to confirm if he is ready, just like I do. You understand? But the guy was a bit mad and he cancelled the ride. So, like, such a question. No, the reason why this guy cancelled a ride, the guy was asking me, how long are you going to take to reach me? And to my side, at some point, that's one of the toughest questions for me. How long? In most cases, I always prefer, this is one of the things that I feel customers should have in their mind. They should be taught, they should know that Bolt always show how long your driver will arrive. In case there is any changes, it will change on the app. So I always tell most clients, just check on your app, because even me, I don't know how the road will be. Maybe I will move, I'm not that too far from you, but after moving 500 meters, there is a traffic, there will be puncture, there is something, you understand? So at some point, I feel like what the app is showing from the Google is one of the best. So my best response has always been, check on your app. And this one don't sit well with the customers, with Uber customers. This one does not work well with them. They feel like you are rude. But if you, as a client, if you can't predict, maybe I've told you where I am and you know the place. If you can't predict my arrival, that means even me, I can't predict it. We are all human beings. At some point, you are carrying a client and this client comes to ask you, how long will it take for us to arrive? This one also is always on the app. What I have on my app is the same thing. Or a client asks you, will there be a traffic? How will you explain that? At some point, you find it difficult, but you just find a way as just a human being, you find a way of dealing with that on a simple way. You just, there is no traffic by this time. Huh? At some point, a client will ask you, which road do you prefer? That question I always expect to ask a client, which one do you prefer? You understand? Because it's a client who should make some decision. So at some point, Uber and Bolt, they have failed to explain to customers what they should be asking and what we should be asking them. But at some point, they ask you, which road do you prefer? Then you make that decision. But after making that decision, they complain that you have gone a long way. Sometimes they ask that question, but they don't know the road. A client asks you, which one will you use? After using that, they tell you that, this is not the one I used last time. That one was shorter. So at some point, small things cause problems, and these problems are caused by Uber and Bolt failing to explain to our clients where the drivers are expected to react and where a customer should be asked questions. At some point, client feel like you should not ask them questions because you have the app. But at some point, this guy has just... There was a day a guy was going to Lower Kabete, but what he placed on the app as the destination was reading Rongai, and the guy was drunk. So I drove all the way because the guy was behaving like he's mad. He doesn't want question. He doesn't want us to talk. I drove all the way to Magadi Road, and once we were along Magadi Road somewhere, the guy felt like, "Hey, bro, where are you taking me?" And I was like, "But you wrote Rongai." No, Lower Kabete. So on such rides, client will be mad at you, but the truth is that they have placed the wrong location. So at some point, Uber has failed to tell and even to confirm with us. At some point, even some problems come from confirmation. Like a client will come and ask you, "Is it you? Is it you?" How should I answer you? Because I expect, according to the app, it should be, because we don't know each other. You don't know my face, I don't know your face. You should either come to this car with my name or the number plate of the car. You just check the number plate. But most people, they don't check the number plate, but they don't even know the names. So someone will just come like, "Is it you? Is it me what? Is it me how?" Yani, you don't understand what is happening. And just by answering that question, at some point you will not find a way of answering it politely because you don't know what to say. But at some point, as a driver, you should now use her name or his name. "You are Derek." Oh, okay. But if you fail to do that, sometimes you will ask, "Me what?" And that one will cause problems between you and the client. So there are just some small things that I believe Uber can make them work in a second. These companies can make them work in a second. Hello guys, please subscribe to our channel, give us a like, and see you on our next video. Thank you.